Think you know how money works? I guarantee you've been told at least one lie that's keeping you from building real wealth. From saving to debt to investing, there are so many money myths that sound true, but are completely false. In this video, we're going to bust the 7 biggest myths about money and reveal what you should be doing instead if you want financial freedom. And hey, before we start, if you want to learn more about money, investing, and financial freedom, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and share it with someone who still believes these myths. Let's jump in! Myth 1. Let's start with one of the biggest lies about money. You need to be rich to start investing. So many people think investing is only for millionaires in suits on Wall Street. But that's completely false. The truth? You can start investing with just a few dollars. Thanks to index funds, ETFs, and apps like Robinhood, Wealthsimple, or Vanguard, anyone can start today. Here's the math. If you invest $100 every month, starting at age 20, and you average a 7% annual return, you could have over $250,000 by age 60. If you wait until 30 to start, you'll end up with less than half of that. The lesson: time in the market matters way more than how much you start with. So don't wait until you're rich. Investing is how you get there. Myth 2. Another common money myth is that credit cards are always bad. You've probably heard, cut your credit cards, they'll ruin your life. But here's the truth. Credit cards are just a tool. Misused? Yes, they can trap you in debt. But used wisely, they're one of the best ways to build your credit score, earn rewards, and even protect your purchases. The key is simple: never carry a balance. Pay your card in full every month. That way, you get all of the benefits, cashback, travel points, credit history, without paying a single dollar in interest. The lesson: credit cards aren't the enemy, bad habits are. Myth 3. One of the most common myths about money is that renting is just throwing money away. You've probably heard people say, why pay rent when you could own something? At first, it sounds logical, but in reality, this is a misleading way to think about housing and wealth. Buying a home is often presented as the ultimate financial goal, but it comes with massive hidden costs: interest on your mortgage, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, repairs, and even renovation expenses. All of this can add up to tens of thousands of dollars every year. On top of that, buying a home locks you into one location, which isn't always practical if you want to change jobs, travel, or move for better opportunities. Renting, on the other hand, is not just money wasted, it gives you flexibility and freedom. You don't have to worry about a leaky roof, replacing a furnace, or paying for a broken water heater. Those are your landlord's problems, not yours. Renting can also help you avoid the risk of losing money if the housing market crashes or if you're forced to sell your home quickly. The lesson is simple: renting is paying for flexibility, stability, and peace of mind. In some cases, renting can even be cheaper than owning, especially when interest rates are high or home prices are inflated. Buying a home can be a smart long-term investment, but only when you're financially ready and in the right life situation. Until then, renting is not throwing money away. It's a smart financial decision that can protect your freedom and your wallet. Myth 4. Another money myth that keeps so many people stuck is the idea that saving alone will make you wealthy. From childhood, most of us are told, work hard, save your money, and one day you'll be rich. And while saving is definitely important, it's only one part of the equation. Saving builds financial discipline, it creates an emergency cushion, and it protects you from unexpected expenses. But here's the truth. Saving by itself will never make you wealthy because inflation is constantly reducing the value of your money. $100 sitting in your bank account today won't have the same purchasing power 10 years from now. In fact, it could be worth much less. Think about it this way. If you only save money in a traditional savings account with 1% interest, and inflation is running at 3%, you're actually losing money every single year without realizing it. That's why wealthy people don't just save, they invest. Investing is what allows your money to grow faster than inflation and compound over time. For example, let's say you put aside $500 every month. If you keep it in a savings account at 1% interest, after 20 years, you'll have about $130,000. Sounds good, right? But if you invest that same $500 into a simple index fund that grows at 7% annually, you'll end up with more than $250,000. That's double the money just by choosing to invest instead of only saving. And this doesn't even require you to be an expert. With ETFs, robo-advisors, and retirement accounts, investing has never been easier or more accessible. The key is to start early, stay consistent, and let compound interest do its magic. The lesson here is clear. Saving alone is not enough. Saving gives you stability, but investing gives you growth. To build real wealth and achieve financial freedom, you need both. So don't fall into the trap of thinking that just saving will make you rich. Because the truth is, if you're not investing, you're actually losing money over time. Myth 5. Another widespread money myth is that all debt is bad. And this belief keeps a lot of people from using financial tools that could actually change their lives. The idea usually comes from personal experiences or stories of people drowning in credit card balances or payday loans. And yes, that kind of debt is toxic. Credit card debt with 20% interest rates is designed to trap you. Payday loans or borrowing money just to buy things you don't need will eat away at your income month after month, leaving you with nothing but stress and regret. That's what people mean when they say debt is bad. And in those cases, they're absolutely right. But here's where the myth becomes dangerous. Not all debt works this way. There's something called good debt, and wealthy people understand how to use it. Good debt is money you borrow that helps you acquire an asset, increase your income, or create new opportunities. Think about a student loan that pays for a degree in engineering, medicine, or law. Yes, it's debt, but it can lead to hundreds of thousands of dollars more in lifetime earnings. Or take a mortgage. While it's a huge obligation, it allows you to own real estate, build equity, and benefit from long-term appreciation. Many of today's millionaires and billionaires started with mortgages on properties that later skyrocketed in value. Business loans are another example. Almost every major company, from Apple to Tesla, relied on some form of borrowed capital to expand, hire workers, and innovate. Even investors use leverage to grow portfolios faster, and while risky if misused, it's a tool that can multiply returns. The real distinction is simple. Bad debt takes money out of your pocket. Good debt puts money into your pocket. Buying a car you can't afford on credit or financing a luxury vacation, that's bad debt. The car loses value the second you drive it off the lot, and the vacation is over in a week, but the payments can last years. On the other hand, using debt to acquire a rental property that pays you monthly income or financing education that boosts your career, that's good debt. In fact, the wealthiest people in the world don't avoid debt. They master it. They use banks' money to grow their businesses, expand real estate portfolios, and create streams of income. The myth that all debt is bad comes from fear, and fear usually comes from misunderstanding. The truth is, debt is just a tool, like a hammer. If you don't know how to use it, you can hurt yourself. But if you understand it, you can build something powerful. The lesson is clear. Debt itself isn't the enemy. The enemy is misusing it, not understanding it, or letting it control you instead of you controlling it. Learn the difference, and debt can go from being a burden to becoming one of the strongest tools for building wealth and achieving financial freedom. Myth 6. Another powerful money myth that traps countless people is the belief that more income automatically means financial freedom. At first, it seems logical. If you earn more money, you should have fewer problems, right? But the reality is much different. Many people fall into what's called lifestyle inflation. As soon as their salary goes up, their expenses rise just as fast, if not faster. Someone making $40,000 a year might think all their problems will vanish once they earn $80,000. But by then, they've bought a bigger car, moved into a more expensive home, signed up for more subscriptions, and taken on new debt. Suddenly, they're living paycheck to paycheck again, only with nicer stuff. This shows that income alone doesn't equal freedom. What matters is how you manage your money. There are people earning six figures who are broke and stressed because every dollar they make is already spent, and at the same time, There are people earning modest incomes who quietly build wealth by budgeting, saving, and investing consistently. Financial freedom is not about the number on your paycheck. It's about the gap between what you earn and what you keep. If you spend 100% of your income, whether that's $3,000 a month or $30,000 a month, you're still trapped in the same cycle. But if you learn to live below your means and invest the difference, you start creating real freedom. Here's the key. Your income is a tool, not the destination. Higher income can accelerate your path to wealth, but only if you use it wisely. That means paying down high-interest debt, investing in assets that grow, and avoiding the trap of chasing status symbols that impress others but drain your bank account. The lesson is simple. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep and what you do with it. More income without financial discipline just leads to bigger problems, but with the right habits, even a modest income can create lasting financial independence. Myth 7. The seventh and final myth is the belief that investing is only for experts. And this one stops millions of people from ever getting started. For decades, the world of investing has been portrayed as complicated, risky, and reserved for Wall Street brokers in suits staring at endless computer screens. And while it's true that some areas of finance are complex, the reality today is that anyone can invest thanks to modern tools and technology. You don't need a PhD in economics or a career in finance to build wealth through investing. In fact, one of the smartest strategies, used even by billionaire investors like Warren Buffett, is incredibly simple: buying and holding broad index funds that track the market. These require no active management, no stock picking, and historically outperform most professional hedge funds over the long run. On top of that, apps and platforms now allow you to start investing with just a few dollars, automatically diversify your portfolio, and even reinvest dividends without you lifting a finger. The myth that investing is only for experts is often fueled by fear, fear of losing money, fear of not knowing enough, fear of making a mistake. But here's the truth. Not investing is the bigger mistake. Because your money loses value to inflation every single year it sits idle. By starting small, staying consistent, and focusing on long-term growth, even beginners can achieve impressive results. And here's another important point. Investing isn't about predicting the next hot stock or perfectly timing the market. It's about time in the market, letting compound interest do the heavy lifting over decades. The lesson is clear. Investing is not reserved for the elite. It's for anyone willing to take the first step. The sooner you start, the more your money works for you, and the closer you get to financial independence. And there you have it. The 7 biggest money myths that so many people still believe, but that are holding them back from building real wealth. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of most people because now you know the truth. Money isn't about myths. It's about knowledge, discipline, and smart decisions. If you learned something new today, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to Top 7 Steve, and share this video with a friend who still believes one of these myths. And of course, drop a comment below telling me which myth surprised you the most. This is Top 7 Steve, and I'll see you in the next video, where we break down more truths, bust more myths, and help you take control of your financial future.